What's happening in the IVF industry is really sad. Our definition of success and our expectation for communication and client care has become so low. It's failing. In terms of all accounts, it's failing. It's failure, it's failing. And then we hand over another $20,000 for them to fail with us again. We need to snap out of this. And I recognize that this is exactly what I did on my IVF journey. So let me just tell you a couple stories. This all started from a text that I got today, not from a private client, I will say, but she was giving me an update on her journey that I was not a part of in terms of execution or any of that. And she had about 5 follicles and 2 or 3 ovulated out. And she didn't mention that. Well, she mentioned that, but her question was, should I do genetic testing or not? I'm about to start stims again in a couple of days. We're doing a duo stim. And I couldn't believe what I was reading. You should not go into another round when the clinic just really messed up. Ovulating out eggs or disappearing eggs I've heard about, or empty follicle syndrome, all of those are just really, that is preventable. You should, 1, know it's about to happen if you're keeping track properly, or 2, know that it did happen before you put someone under for an egg retrieval. And 3, then if it does happen, even if you've been tracking it properly, and things happen, I guess, there's typically a reason for everything. There is a protocol to make sure that doesn't happen again. And you cannot do that right after another egg retrieval. So while she's glossing over that half of her follicles ovulated out and just wondering, with so few, should I test them or not? It hurts my heart. Like literally, I have pain in my chest right now. It might be anxiety. But we need to take a step back. When we are getting results that are not good, it is not just, well, I only have 5 follicles and I'm a hot mess and I'm old and my eggs must be. No. What happened was preventable. Other things like that are, her follicles are probably very uneven. That's preventable. When follicles get so big and all of a sudden they ovulate out because they got too big and the other ones didn't, that means they were uneven. So a couple grew too quickly. That's preventable. So what this person is doing is moving forward out of fear. And it's exactly what I did. It is exactly what I did. And that's how I got to 9 egg retrievals in 10 rounds. So I am not, judging or shaming in any way. What I'm doing now as an IVF consultant who is not in the middle of the storm anymore is giving you back reason. Is this reasonable? We don't stop and ask ourselves that enough. And is this really successful? And is this really the best that we have? So I'm going to give you a couple other examples. Let me give you my example. Okay, I went to the same clinic, the first clinic I went to, for 5 egg retrievals and 5 transfers. Now, Hudson, my firstborn, was round 2. And so that was successful to me. And of course, when I was ready for baby number 2, I went back and got nothing for 3 rounds before I left. But Hudson was not successful. Yes, I had a baby, but it wasn't successful IVF because I was 33 years old with a very healthy egg count. I think it was like over 15. And by the end of it, I would have 2, maybe 3 okay looking day 3 embryos. Back then, they didn't even want to grow them to blast because they're like, oh my gosh, we got so few. We just need to, work with these, which is a great strategy sometimes, by the way. But my point is that wasn't successful to go from 15 healthy 33-year-old eggs to okay looking 2 to 3 okay looking day 3 embryos. That's not successful. But it's all I knew. And I was being told it was successful. Now, did I expect to do an egg retrieval once and then have a bunch of embryos to pop in whenever I had a baby? Yes. But when that didn't happen and it was so far from what I expected, my reality shifted. My reality of what IVF was supposed to look like shifted. It wasn't supposed to be that you do one egg retrieval and have a bunch of embryos. That is success. But once that didn't happen, it was like the rug was pulled under me. It was like I got literally punched in the face. And then all of a sudden I was like, I have no idea what this IVF is and what is going on. And I'm sure you know what that feels like. I should have had a ton of embryos on ice. And recently I found my protocols from 3 out of 4 of my clinics. And I was able to be like, oh gosh, God, right there. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe they put me on the standard 300, gonna left, 150 Menopur. 9 days later, an Avidrol shot. Like, of course they did. That's why it kept on not working, right? And so I was able to see what was done and then what I would have done to tweak it, right? Of course, when you're in it, you don't know what else to expect. We take what they give us as answers as the truth. And there's a really big difference between their answers and the truth sometimes. Let me give you another example. I hear people talk about different doctors all the time or different clinics, and they're all excited about them because they are the most famous, right? Or they work with the most famous people. And that also really pisses me off a lot because, well, first of all, right, if they've worked with really famous people, you've probably heard about what a horrifically hard journey they had to getting a baby, right? And so we're sitting there going, well, I want that doctor. Well, I get it because you think a celebrity has access to the best of the best, but no, they're just like us. And they go on who says they're the best, who worked for a friend, what OBGYN says. And when they don't see easy, quick success, you should not consider that doctor. I was talking to somebody else this week who she was telling me about how her next doctor, I'm not working with her, her next doctor went to this other doctor. And, so her doctor went to, let's call it Dr. A. And she's like, so I'm going to go to Dr. A. My doctor went to Dr. A and was successful. And I was like, okay, cool. And then it just like slipped in that her doctor did 19 egg retrievals with Dr. A. And I was like, and made 3 blasts and 1 became her baby. And she was just telling me the facts about this successful Dr. A and what she could do. And I was like, I just said, that's not successful. And she's like, what? Like, what do you mean? Of course. She goes, no, she has a baby. I go, I understand. But she did 19 egg retrievals to make 3 blasts and has 1 baby. That is not successful IVF. And it took her a second, and then it was like, oh, right? We just need to kind of step a little bit out of it. And for so many of us, me included, when you're in it, you literally have blinders on. There is a finish line that you cannot figure out how to go to, and there is nothing more heartbreaking and disappointing and frustrating, especially when it comes to something your body has to do and something you feel like you have zero control over. I so remember that feeling. And if I can just ask you to pause and not just keep going when things are not going successfully, and to say, is this really the best I got? Because I don't feel like it is. And just ask yourself that, right? I didn't even ask myself that. Is this really, should I be doing the same protocol with 4 different doctors and like expecting different results and like me being told everything's perfect, but then like I get terrible results and I haven't been pregnant? Like that doesn't make sense. But I have these blinders on because I'm a control freak, do-it-yourselfer who was like, if you just work harder, Tasha, if you just do it better, if you just control things more, that was my mentality. And I cannot tell you how wrong it is. If I could tell myself then what I know now, I would say, pause. It's not working. Take the blinders off. You need to reassess. You need to not do the same thing that hasn't been working. And when they suggest minor changes that you've already done, hello, I did 9 egg retrievals. You say, no, I've already done that. And if they don't have answers, they may not be the right doctor. And going back to stop believing the BS marketing. And yes, it's BS marketing. Okay. I don't care. Give me any fertility clinic and I will tell you what's actually happening behind the scenes and why their reputation from 10 plus, sometimes 20 plus years ago was what it was and how that has changed over time. Okay. The other thing that just drives me bananas is when I hear you guys picking doctors based on their podcast or their reviews online. And these doctors are charging like double because they're influencers. I've seen their work. Okay, you don't know who I'm talking about. I don't know who you're talking about, but it's probably the same people. I've seen their work and it's not good. And when it doesn't work with them, remember that I told you this, okay? And because I don't want to be like, oh, because I'm right. Because you're not broken. And I want you to stop believing that. That clinic, that really, really, really famous clinic, they've gotten really big, right? Yeah. There's a lot of private investors now, right? Yes. So what that means is they have to do things for profits. No investor meeting starts with, so have we reduced the number of IVF that we've been doing because our clients are being so successful the first time? That would never, ever, 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 ever be a conversation. You're not going to hear that from a clinic. You may hear that from incredible doctors who are doing this for mission versus for money. And I know some of them, and they are the best of the best of the best. Most of them don't practice anymore because they get burned out real fast because of all the red tape and BS. Let me tell you that. So there's that. But you cannot get patient first from a clinic. You got to be with the right doctor who wants the patient first and who's going to fight for you. And if they don't have that, or if you don't know you have it, okay, here's a plug. Yes, that's what I do. I make sure we are in the inside lane, getting to the finish line in the fastest way possible. Are you pregnant with a healthy baby? Did you have a healthy baby? That's the finish line. How do we get there as fast as possible? But I am sorry. There's very few other people in your world that want you to be successful quickly because your infertility is making them a lot of money. And that is a rude, harsh reality. I am telling you all of this because I care about you, the IVF patient, That is who I am working for. That is my mission for my company, which is to make the IVF patient as successful as quickly as possible. And for you to get there, I need you to know more information. And I need you to be able to pause, step back, and stop blaming yourself for everything and stop taking it's you, not me, as the answer, because that just isn't the reality. IVF, when done correctly, works beautifully. But again, our standard for success has become so low. Our standard for care has become so low that our vision is completely and totally clouded. And I know you have baby goggles on, just like I did, where your reality is, I don't literally care what I have to do or endure. I want a baby. And if anything could possibly maybe kind of bring me closer to that, I'm in. But you got to take off those baby goggles. You are brilliant. You are smart. You know what's right because of how it feels. And I want you to use that brilliant intuition of yours. You're a warrior mama. You got this. Don't let anyone else tell you anything differently. And when it doesn't feel right, it isn't. And yes, it's as simple as that. Now, before we go, I have two really exciting things I want to share with you. One, I am editing my book that should be coming out soon, and I can't wait for you to be a part of it and get your hands on it. It's going to include two books in one, the book on fertility and how to be as fertile as humanly possible, because everybody needs that, whether doing IVF treatments or not. And then the book on IVF, all of my kind of strategies and secrets and practices that I have developed and I consult on with my private clients. And the second thing that I would like to share with you all is something really excited that I've been creating for about 3 years now, and it is ready. And that is the Perfect Protocol software. So what is your perfect protocol? It's just that. If you are doing IVF and about to do an egg retrieval, the inputs that I need to determine someone's perfect protocol is what you send to me, and then you fill it out, and then you will get your perfect protocol. And the best part is we get on a phone call and discuss it, and it will be for an incredibly low investment. Eventually it won't be me discussing your perfect protocol with you, but it is for now because this is a new product and I need to figure this out before I teach someone else on my team to do it. So if you are interested in getting your perfect protocol and then discussing it with me live, definitely look at the link in the show notes and you will get all of the information to that. So whether you have already done I do complementary strategy sessions or not, this is something that can up-level your next egg retrieval. So I would love for everyone to take advantage of this if you have another egg retrieval to go. If you have a transfer, I recommend you just do the complementary strategy session that we are offering, because then we can talk about kind of what's been going on, what they've tried, and some next steps to discuss with your doctor. Either way, if you have not done a complementary strategy session with me, oh my gosh, go to the show notes and get that done. But if you now would like me to present to you your perfect protocol, go to the link. It's going to say link to your perfect protocol. Click here and check that out. I'm really excited to get this part of my business started where access to perfect protocols, exact executions is available to everybody. Wait, not just everybody doing IVF, the special people.